Hi to every Rangers supporter across Scotland and wherever the club's colours travel. There is a different kind of tension in the air at Ibrox right now, the sort that comes when a season hangs in the balance and every match feels like a test of character rather than just another fixture on the calendar. Rangers reach this stage knowing that points are precious, performances are under the spotlight, and any slip could change the tone of the entire campaign. It is not just football here, it is identity, responsibility, and expectation. This is a club built on the idea de competir sempre, de lutar até ao fim, de não aceitar a mediocridade. Even when confidence shakes, the demand does not. The recent victory by 1-0 over Motherwell at Ibrox did not solve everything, but it changed the atmosphere. It was the type of 3 points that matter more for what they symbolize than for the style. A second-half strike was enough to separate the sides, and while it was not a stylish performance, it was a result built on resilience and control when it mattered. With that, the gap at the top of the Scottish Premiership table narrowed to 9 points. And with a game still waiting to be played, Rangers remain mathematicamente in the race. No one at the club is pretending the road ahead will be easy, but no one is waving a white flag either. The domestic league still presents opportunities, and the team knows that the only way forward is through consistency, personality, and belief. At the heart of the performance against Motherwell was a goalkeeper who reminded everyone why he is trusted. He has been criticized at times this season, especially after costly mistakes in earlier matches, but this time he delivered the kind of display that silences doubts. Strong saves, calm interventions, and the presence of someone who understands what clean sheets mean at a club of this size. It was a performance that said clearly that the fight is not over. The back line, too, showed signs of improvement. There are still cracks that need attention, still moments of hesitation when the pressure builds, but there was structure, communication, and commitment. And when that exists in the defensive third, everything else becomes easier. Next comes St. Mirren at Ibrox on Tuesday night, and that game has the feeling of a checkpoint in the season. Not a final, not a title decider, but a measurement of where Rangers truly are. Win, and the momentum continues. Drop points, and doubts multiply again. That is the fine margin the squad is living with just now. Supporters know it, the players know it, and the manager will certainly be aware of it. What happens on the pitch in that match will speak louder than any interview or statement. It is about intensity, attitude, and the willingness to take responsibility. Rangers can no longer wait for improvement to appear. They must create it. While matches continue, the January transfer window approaches like a storm on the horizon. It is no secret that changes are expected and perhaps needed. Certain experienced figures in the squad, players who once carried the standards with confidence, now live in the center of debate. Mistakes this season have raised questions about leadership, consistency, and whether some positions need fresh energy. That does not mean disrespect, but realism. Rangers cannot move forward if they are afraid to make difficult decisions. Football at this level demands renewal at the right time, not after the damage has already been done. A major talking point behind the scenes is whether selling one major asset could finance a rebuild. There is at least one player who still has clear market value, and his departure might be the key to creating a new structure within the squad. It would be a hard choice, but the type that clubs with ambition sometimes need to make. If a sale happens, it must be followed by intelligent reinvestment, not the scattergun approach seen in past transfer windows. Rangers have been burned before by signings that looked exciting on paper but offered little on the pitch. This time, the recruitment has to be targeted, controlled, and focused on football logic rather than impulse. One position already being analysed is the goalkeeping area. There is interest in a young option from down south, someone who has potential to grow into the role for many years. His current club faces financial problems and competitive pressure, a scenario that could allow Rangers to negotiate. He is already a recognised international and has caught attention from higher leagues, but the opportunity for regular football at Ibrox could make the difference. This would not be a signing for a short period. It would be a project, a long-term vision that says the club is planning for the future rather than simply plugging gaps. Rangers need more decisions like that. However, the discussion is not just about bringing in players from outside Scotland. Voices connected to the club have stressed the importance of rebuilding a Scottish core within the squad. In previous eras, Rangers competed with national identity woven into the team, with players who understood the league, the pressure, the climate, the intensity, and the weight of expectations. Over time, that connection weakened. Talented Scottish players have gone elsewhere, developed, and become expensive, while Rangers looked abroad and sometimes overlooked what was in front of them. The frustration around missing out on potential domestic signings has been building for years. The argument is simple: balance. Not a full return to only signing local players, but recognition that a squad should represent the environment it competes in. Players who know the league can stabilize a dressing room, raise standards, and anchor the identity of a team. Foreign talent should still arrive, of course, but complemented by Scottish players who already understand what is demanded. There is no shame in rebuilding roots. Em muitos casos, é a base necessária para futuro mais forte. That blend once defined Rangers, and there is a growing feeling it may need to do so again. The next few weeks will shape more than a league campaign. They will shape direction, credibility, and long-term purpose. If Rangers get the next steps right, they can begin a new project with logic, ambition, and identity. If they get them wrong, the same cycle of frustration threatens to continue. There is no space for hesitation now, not when the season is still alive and the opportunity to correct the path remains open. The team, the recruitment, the mentality, tudo precisa alinhar. The club is at a crossroads, and the decisions made now will reveal which road they intend to take. There's also another layer to this discussion that goes beyond performances and squad building. It is the atmosphere around the club, the sense that every decision is being weighed not only in football terms, but through the emotional weight of expectation. Supporters want a plan they can believe in, something that shows Rangers are not just reacting to problems, but actively building towards a clearer identity. For too long, the feeling has been that solutions arrive only after damage has already been done. Now there is a chance to move first, to anticipate needs rather than chase them. The question is whether the club will take that chance or once again hesitate until opportunities pass by. That hesitation has cost Rangers before, both on the pitch and in the market, and repeating it now could prove even more damaging. The internal challenge sits not only in selecting players, but in defining what type of football the team is trying to play. There have been games where the pressing looks coordinated, where possession has purpose, where the team carries the authority expected of Rangers. Then, in other matches, the approach looks cautious, reactive, and fragmented. Without consistency and style, it becomes harder for new signings to fit. Harder for the squad to evolve and harder for results to stabilise. A clear model of play is not a luxury, it is a necessity. If the club wants to compete for trophies, it cannot drift between identities depending on the opponent. It needs to establish a way of playing that others must prepare for, not the other way around. That is how successful sides in Scotland and abroad sustain success across years, not months. This is where leadership becomes crucial. A manager can guide, but he needs backing, clarity, and alignment from those above him. Too often at Ibrox, managers have been left with squads shaped by different eras, different ideas, and conflicting recruitment strategies. The result is a team that looks stitched together rather than constructed with purpose. If a rebuild is coming, it must be built on continuity rather than patchwork. Decisions need to reflect a shared vision, not short-term reactions to league tables, individual mistakes, or external noise. Otherwise, the club risks repeating the same cycle: pressure, panic, signings without cohesion, disappointment, and another restart. That pattern has to break somewhere. One element that could strengthen the squad environment is bringing in characters who lift the dressing room, not just improve the bench. Rangers need players who set standards every day, not only on match days. Football in Scotland is relentless, physical, and emotional. There will be matches played in rain so heavy that precision football becomes a test of will. Nights when the crowd demands urgency from the first minute, and afternoons where opponents raise their game simply because they are facing Rangers. The squad must contain people who thrive in that climate, characters who respond to pressure with clarity instead of fear, personalities who can take blame when needed, not hide from responsibility. This is what separates teams that flirt with success from teams that sustain it. There is also value in recognizing that the Scottish Premiership is not merely a stepping stone, but a battleground with its own demands. Teams across the league have improved in organisation and physical preparation. Gone are the days when Rangers could expect to win simply by turning up. Clubs sit deep, press high, break with pace, or try to frustrate, and each requires a different answer. That means the squad needs variety, creative players who can unlock tight spaces, runners who break lines, defenders who can handle direct attacks, and midfielders who control tempo instead of chasing it. Recruitment must reflect that. It cannot be built solely on potential resale value or foreign pedigree. It must reflect football reality. A growing number of supporters want to see the club lean into the identity of Scottish football rather than shy away from it, not in a nostalgic sense, but in recognizing that the league produces players with resilience and awareness of the environment. If Rangers ignore that market, others will not. There are clubs in England and on the continent that have already identified talent developing in Scotland and are acting quickly. Once those players move, the price doubles or triples, and the opportunity is gone. Rangers cannot afford to watch the league from a distance. They must engage with it. The future of the squad may depend on that balance between ambition abroad and responsibility at home. Even so, bringing players in is only part of the solution. Developing those already in the building matters too. If Rangers want to create continuity, younger players must be given a path forward, not just a place on the bench. There needs to be trust, minutes, and structure. The academy is not just an investment, it is a competitive edge. If a young defender or midfielder can step in and contribute, that is money saved, identity strengthened, and confidence built. But this requires bravery from the technical staff and patience from the crowd. Growth is not linear, mistakes will happen, and the temptation to abandon the process must be resisted. Stability depends on long-term thinking, not immediate emotional reactions. The conversation surrounding this squad has often centered on what has gone wrong, but there is also room to discuss what can go right. The foundation is not broken beyond repair. There are players with ability, matches that prove potential, and moments that show the team can respond to adversity. The challenge is turning isolated performances into a pattern. If that happens, if consistency replaces fluctuation, everything changes, confidence grows, decision-making becomes clearer, and the squad stops playing with fear of consequence and starts playing with the hunger to impose itself. Supporters do not demand perfection, they demand intent. They want to feel that each match is approached with purpose, that each signing is made for a reason, that each setback is met with correction rather than confusion. They want to see Rangers act, not react. That desire is not unreasonable. It is the expectation that comes with being one of the biggest clubs in the country, whether in the league, in domestic cups, or in European qualifiers. The standard is always the same: represent the badge, compete with conviction, and refuse to fade when the pressure rises. The coming weeks are not just a period of fixtures, they are a period of definition. Performances will matter, but so will decisions off the pitch. Recruitment, leadership, tactical clarity, identity, and courage will decide what comes next. There is still time for Rangers to shape their season rather than be shaped by it. The opportunity is there, visible, waiting. The question now is whether the club will step towards it with determination or allow hesitation to write the next chapter for them. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In what could be one of the most startling moves of recent times, Rangers have reportedly set their sights on Lawrence Shankland, the striker who has become the nightmare of defences across Scotland. Sources close to the club suggest that talks are ongoing, and while nothing has been confirmed officially, the mere whisper of Shankland linking up with the Gers has sent shockwaves through the Premiership. Known for his predatory instincts in the box and a knack for finding the net when it matters most, Shankland has been on the radar of several clubs, yet Rangers appear to have edged ahead in what could become a high-profile acquisition. Fans are already dreaming of the havoc he could wreak, imagining a forward line revitalized by his presence, capable of tormenting defenses with his intelligent movement and sharp finishing. Speculation is rife over how Shankland would fit into the Rangers system. Would he spearhead the attack as a lone striker, supported by wingers eager to feed his lethal touch? Or might he partner with the current frontmen in a dynamic duo that could redefine the team's offensive approach? Analysts have been quick to ponder the potential chemistry, noting his ability to link play as well as his ruthlessness in front of goal. The move, if it materializes, could also signal a shift in Rangers' recruitment strategy, demonstrating an ambition to blend homegrown talent with established Premiership performers. It's a gamble, of course, as Shankland would be expected to carry the weight of expectation, but his track record suggests a player more than capable of rising to the challenge. Across Scotland, rival fans have reacted with a mix of disbelief and dread. A striker of Shankland's caliber arriving at Ibrox could change the landscape of the league, injecting a fresh dose of excitement and fear into encounters that might otherwise have been routine. Conversations in pubs and online forums alike are dominated by one question: can anyone stop him if he dons the Rangers jersey? While the deal remains speculative, the very notion of Lawrence Shankland at Rangers has already captured imaginations, promising headlines, debates, and for supporters, the thrilling anticipation of seeing one of Scotland's most lethal forwards light up their team's attack. Whether it comes to fruition or not, the rumour alone has ensured that Shankland's name is now synonymous with the potential dawn of a new era at Ibrox. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned